Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to start by, applauding the Committee on Delegated Legislation led by Gataya Mofire for this bold decision that has led the House to rally behind the entire committee. That when something is wrong, we as a leadership have a responsibility to say that it is wrong. Honorable Speaker, the key reason why the committee has decided that we annul these regulations is because the ministry responsible is bringing to us regulations claiming that participation of the people was had 7 years ago. That is in 2018, Honorable Speaker. Very many things have changed between now and 2018. In fact, Honorable Speaker, I don't think that 7 years ago I had just been appointed as SG of ODM. There's been a long, long period. This is my 8th year there. There's a lot of things that have changed, including in the political space. Speaker, just for perspective and to understand how important it is for the government to understand that when Parliament passes a law, it is the responsibility of government to operationalize that law so that the people can enjoy the benefits of that legislation. It is unconscionable to go 7, 10 years without actually having actualized the law. And I want to give this House the most poignant of examples, Honorable Speaker. There is a bill that we passed as a Parliament in 2017 called the National Coroners Service Bill. In the current context of the discussions about police brutality and the killings that are attributable to the security forces, Honorable Speaker, and the difficulty that the Independent Policing Oversight Authority is facing investigating these crimes and actually bringing rogue officers to book, Honorable Speaker, it is unconscionable that 8 years later, somebody is sitting on the regulations that would operationalize the National Coroners Service Bill. This particular bill, Honorable Speaker, would require mandatory reporting of all deaths and setting up of a coroner's service that would investigate all violent and sudden and suspicious deaths and make it easier for IPOA and the prosecutorial powers to actually go after the rogue police officers. Honorable Speaker, I am happy that in this particular House, out of the NADCO process, one of the NADCO bills, we have made a proposal to criminalize or to put criminal penalty on people whose responsibility it is to bring these regulations and who either neglect, fail, or refuse to come up with the regulations or sit on them. I was told a story, Honorable Speaker, that there exists a situation in this country that the head of public service has abrogated himself the right to approve gazette notices and the gazettement of regulations. Now, as far as I understand the legislative process, Honorable Speaker, the head of public service has no legal basis or constitutional basis to be the one to determine the contents of regulations when they are gazetted, or if at all they are gazetted. It is something that needs to be looked into, Honorable Speaker, because these issues are critical. These issues are critical, Honorable Speaker. When we talk about the specter of extrajudicial killings, people think we are just saying because we like to oppose everything that government is doing. But they have consequences on the standing of the country and the nation that is Kenya on the world stage. Just recently we were told, Honorable Speaker, that the US Congress is now reviewing the major NATO ally status of Kenya, and part of the review will cover these cases of abductions, torture, and violence against civilians. It has become difficult for us to find justice against the rogue police officers who have killed our young people because of failure by people in government to actually put in place regulations for important bills, such as the Coroners Service Bill. Speaker, I will not take more time than that, just to appreciate our colleagues in that committee, chaired by Mofire, Senator Faki, Maanzo Montet, and the others, including Boy Juma, for putting a foot down. And the point that the Senator for Nyabira was making, Honorable Speaker, which I thought was misunderstood, is that every single opportunity, we as a House must validate our space in the constitutional order, because there exists separation of powers. The executive should not know how the House will treat a proposal that comes from them before the proposal lands on the floor. because there is an expectation that we've been given constitutional power by the people to give an objective view of every single proposal that has come from the executive, so that it doesn't matter if I was elected on the ruling party or the party that is in opposition. I, as a member of this House exercising that legislative power, at the very minimum should give Kenyans an objective review of that proposal before I say nay or yay. Speaker, Khalwale has just informed me that the hospital where my placenta was cut has now been shut down. And it reminded me of the debate about Senator Kajwang's former university.
Senator, it's the placenta of your mother.
The placenta is shared by the mother and the child. I don't think any party can claim whose placenta it is. It is also mine, and I can text my mother here to confirm whose placenta it was.
Proceed, Senator.
But anyway, it reminded me of that debate, Honorable Speaker. I don't know if you recall, when Moi University was facing closure, and Senator Kajwang, who went to Moi University, was asking, now what will I tell people? When they ask me, which school did you go to? How can you make reference to an institution that does not exist anymore? So I am finding myself in the same dilemma as the senator from Homa Bay, Honorable Speaker, that now I can no longer convince people that I was born in a decent faith-run institution, Honorable Speaker, because it has been closed down. And we must do everything. We must do everything. Because in 1982, Honorable Speaker, to find an institution such as that was able to safely deliver somebody who can become a senator for Nairobi, it was not easy, Honorable Speaker. So it breaks my heart that has befallen that hospital, and all it takes is for this government to ensure that the system they have put in place when it comes to management of our healthcare, it works. If it works, you don't need to defend it. You see, this is the problem I have, Honorable Speaker. Everybody can see when something is working, and if you defend it so hard, and the people in the villages there, I was in a very rural village called Luhome, somewhere in Saboti, Honorable Speaker, over the weekend. And I can tell you, the question was put to those women. They have lost Linda Mama. SHA is no longer working. It doesn't work for them. So why do we insist, instead of just taking back this feedback and tweaking the system, the way that CBK dealt with the questions that were raised about voiding of payments, and they have told us that they have taken steps to ensure that it will no longer be possible for county officials to void payments. That is the sort of government we want, a government that just listens to criticism and takes corrective measures. I was very pleased myself when, after bringing the question of university accommodation fees here, the ministry actually took steps to correct that. That is what we expect from a government that is responsive, not just being defensive and sending hecklers to heckle us down here in Parliament whenever we raise these issues. People like, I don't want to mention them, Honorable Speaker. I've finished. Thank you.
Senator Tabitha Mutinda.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I rise, first of all, to really appreciate the Committee of Delegated Legislation, led by none other than the Senator of Tharaka Nithi, Mofaya.